let's talk about it. What a game we just saw. I'm about to hold on. I gotta hit my Discord real quick and let them know that we're gonna be live on YouTube real quick to talk about this game. Oh my god. Well, I gotta log in. Boy, hold on. Can we share this out? Are we back? Are we back? Are we back? I think we're all good. I think we're all good. Oh my God. What a game. Can we talk about this game, man? Oh my goodness. I wow. Kyle Shanahan. If Kyle Shanahan don't win coach of the year, I mean that I think in itself is just blasphemy if he does not. So let me just make sure this is live, right? Yeah, 49ers Eagles reaction. Yeah. Man, I just wouldn't get it. If he didn't win coach of the year at this point, it would just be a crime. Excuse my language. It would just be a crime if he didn't get that. Man, what a game this was. I'm still trying to process it. Like CMC, it looks like CMC owns the Eagles. Shout out to my boy Jag in the chat. Purdy masterclass. Let me pull up these stats real quick. Actually, I gotta see. We can really break this down. I took a bunch of notes during the game, so I want to, I was like, I'll just hop on live and we can talk about it on here. You know what I mean? So let's talk about this game, bro, because yeah, I was gonna do like a little live, live reaction to the highlights, which I'll probably still do. But I was like, you know what? Let's do the instant one as well too. Damn, bro. Let's talk about this game real quick. Brock Purdy, 18 of 30 for 31, 262 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 INTs, took 1 sack. Jawan Jennings, he had one attempt for one completion or whatever for 29 yards and a touchdown. So 3 passing touchdowns that came out of this game. Jalen Hurts attempted 35 passes in this game. He said film session gonna be crazy. Yeah, that's fact. 35 fucking attempts in this game. With 1 touchdown, 168 yards. Which Saquon had 26 carries for 106 yards. So something to consider in this one. We talk about like early things that step to mind. This defense showed out, actually, man. Like all these guys that got something to prove, they got something to show out. These guys showed out. Like if you think about that one run that Saquon had, it was a big one that he broke out right after 50 yards or whatever the case, 60 or some shit like that. Take that one run away where it's really Demo who didn't force him back inside, right? This run defense held up pretty well against Saquon Barkley. Like you did it well enough to be able to put these guys into strong scenarios. So I wrote a bunch of key points. Let's talk about it. So first thing that stood out was the run defense. The fact that you're able to put the Eagles in these scenarios where it's like 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 4. Now you look at this coverage. These guys were locking up. Ronaldo Green, we got to give him his praise and his love. He was going strap for strap with every receiver. It didn't matter if it was A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. By the way, where was Devontae Smith? Who's winning the Super Bowl? Oh, man. We'll come back to that one at the end and talk about it because there's a lot of teams in the AFC that are really good. But the run defense, all they needed to do was win on 1st and 2nd down. Bend, don't break. It's fine if he gets 3 yards. It's fine if he even gets 5 yards. If we can just get to 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, even 3rd and 5, 3rd and 5 to 3rd and 7 range, Jalen Hurts now has to throw the ball down the field. 20 of 35 for 168 yards, 1 touchdown. That was the real beauty of this game plan was, hey, our corners are going to lock up if we can just get them to throw the ball down the field. You look at Saquon, 106 yards, that one run, you take that one run away where Demo doesn't contain on the outside. And that is the big one right there where, oh my God, this run defense did its job. That's crazy right there. And I think that was like the biggest thing that stood out from that side. Kittle going down, you would have thought this team loses all its energy. Fans are losing their energy, but the team still battled back. And I thought what was interesting was when Kittle goes down, it basically became the CMC show. It basically became like, I don't know if you guys watched the Elway documentary or not, but it reminded me of Terrell Davis a little bit and Mike Shanahan. We was like, hey, I'm going to just take this game over because he did it against the Eagles before. And that's what's cool is you can kind of tell Brock Purdy, CMC, Trent, like they love to show out against the Eagles. Like this is just what they do. And A.J. Brown, oh my goodness. While I'm giving credit to the secondary, at the same time, hit that like button, everybody, as well too. At the same time, how many balls did he drop? I don't know what's going on. Was the Mafia involved? it like what's the future looking like with AJ Brown in Philly? Because you know a lot of people are gonna be upset, especially after all the noise that he made this year. He said my friend bet 50K Pat on the Pats winning the Super Bowl. I'm gonna talk about the Pats. This is gonna be interesting in a second because Harbaugh, I like Harbaugh, but at the same time I like the Pats as well too. Dallas Goddard balled out as well too. I think he took advantage of the linebacker matchups. But let's talk about the linebackers. They showed out a little bit. Eric Kendricks and Luke Gallows. What I think they showed out the most was, and I don't know if like the typical fan is going to be able to notice this or not, versus like our other guys, Tatum Bethune and them, they're real young. So they're really green in the run blocking game or the run defensive game. We noticed that with Seattle. Like they're just like lacking discipline in certain areas. These guys though are veterans. So like they're not going to be as undisciplined from it pertains to like staying in your gaps, going down there and making the right tackle. That's what stood out, I think, big time was the linebackers had something to prove in this game. And they really stood out in the way that they were able to tackle in open space, make sure that they, contain Saquon just enough. Like, this is the best running back in the league type shit. So, you really want to make sure you go out there and don't let him explode. But he's going to have some plays where he does. And that was what stood out, was these guys being able to do that right there. Yeah, Devontae Smith did not even show up at all. Them being able to run the ball without Kittle, man, that was what was crazy about it. So now Niners are going to be playing at Seattle, right? If I'm not mistaken. Let's talk about who's going to win this Super Bowl. And you guys let me know your thoughts. Kendrick turned the clock back Friday. Defense balled out 100%. Straight up, man. I mean, the offense, too, being able to rally from the fact that Kittle went down was big time. We got to give credit to the offensive line. I think they did a great enough job to give Purdy enough of a pocket today to actually work with. Whereas we saw last week, Seattle, it just felt like he just didn't have anything to really work with. This game, it really felt like he actually had something to work with this time, which I thought was really, really interesting to see. Let's take a look at like what the updated bracket looks like. I'm about to pull it up on my updated NFL playoff bracket. This is going to be crazy because now we basically got us going to Seattle, the 49ers, right? We got the Bears versus the Rams. I'll show you guys like this because I just went live real quick. So here we go. This is what we're looking at. We got Seahawks versus right there, right? We got the Bears going. The I can't even talk, bro. That's how excited I am. But the Rams are going to Chicago. That is something to look out for, is that they'll be playing outdoors in Chicago next week. And then we go to Seattle, so familiar foe and over there. And then this left side of the bracket, so this is what's going to be interesting here, is who wins the Super Bowl, right? And I don't know, man. It's tough to pick against Harbaugh because, I mean, that's a Niner fan talking at the same time. But I do think the Patriots are nice. The one thing that concerns me with them is all these distractions with Stephon Diggs and all these other players. Can they overcome that? So this is actually the game where I'm like, man, this is going to dictate a lot because Patriots win. Let's just assume the Texans are going to win tomorrow if they do. But if the Patriots win, then that means these guys are going to Denver. Versus if the Chargers win, then they get to have a home playoff game. So I think that's what's going to be interesting to see is tonight, who wins between the Patriots and the Chargers. We're going to get it going. Yeah, unsung hero, Demarcus Robinson, for sure. That was like, did you wake up thinking that Demarcus Robinson would be cooking Kenyon Mitchell in man coverage and Ronaldo Green would be strapping AJ Green in man coverage? That's what, like, you know what I mean? Like, what? Like, here we go. And that's what's really cool, too, is you still got to see why those guys are all pros, for real. Like, Kenyon Mitchell had 2 picks today. Cooper DeJean, I ain't gonna lie, like, Juwan Jennings did his thing. What was the stat line? What did he have receiving-wise? Juwan Jennings had 1 catch for 45 yards, right? That big play. That was a big energizing play, though, by the way. Cooper DeJean won that matchup. Like, I actually want to go back and watch the film. You could tell the whole week it was like, hey, Juwan Jennings is going to be your matchup. You're going to be the person to go and lock him up, take him out the game. 3rd and short, 4th and short, all that kind of stuff. And he did that, honestly. So I think we really got to see why those Eagles corners are really, really good. But I think a lot of things sticked out. I was listening to a lot of media stuff. A lot of people are talking on our Discord, too. The Eagles' O-line played good in the first half and then had a good enough push in the second half where it's like, I don't want to say that they played bad, but it was more like the Niners defense did a good job just being like, we're not going to bend. I mean, we're not going to break. We're just going to bend. We'll put you in 3rd and 5. Now Jalen Hurts, for some reason, has all the time in the world, but, and, I know I get it, it's 7 guys back in coverage, but he can't deliver the ball or, they can't convert, or A.J. Brown is dropping passes. So I think the Eagles' problems caught up to them, like them resting players, them, like, not, like, just taking it serious. Like, we need to get hot towards the end of the season. I think that's underrated. Like, teams that can get hot towards the back end of the season, that is almost just as valuable as being able to be like, yeah, we could take week 18 off as well too. But yeah, James did have that touchdown throw. That was dope. That was a Super Bowl play right there. For these guys that don't know, I went to that Super Bowl. So his family sat like one row in front of us, but like maybe 10 or 15 feet down. And so we got to like see them react in real time. And I was telling his dad, I was like, he's a Super Bowl MVP because he was, to be honest with you, at that time, if we had won. So when they did that play again, I literally felt like I was back in the stadium. Like it was kind of crazy to y'all. Like it was crazy to be like, oh shit, like I feel like I'm there now. And then I think too, I'm not gonna lie, when we did score that, part of me did feel like, oh my goodness, the type of play that they just scored right now with the momentum that's going into, I was like, oh shit, we about to fucking win. So that was what was really funny about that part right there, man. But yeah, let me know what was more of you guys' thoughts, man. Yeah, great team win all the way around. I thought everyone did what they needed to do to go win against it's still a very good football team. You know, I know the Eagles still had like their struggles and whatnot, but like they also ran into us the first round. You know, how many other teams are they going to lose to in the first round? Who knows? You know, maybe they beat the Packers, maybe they beat the Bears easily. You know, it's interesting to see, but I do think, yeah, the coaching, he's got to win Coach of the Year. What are we doing at this point? Like, it just doesn't make sense. And Saleh is literally, they said it during the game, 5th to 7th string linebackers. That's who's in the game right now. You know, these guys aren't meant to be like on the roster. Luke Gallows is not meant to be in the game. So I thought that's crazy to me. Like you beat the defending Super Bowl champions. No George Kittle, no Ayuk, no Pearsall. Trent Williams is banged up. You have basically only CMC. And then on the defensive side, you have no Nick Bosa, no Michael Williams, no Fred Warner. You're missing all these players. You're even missing Tatum Bethune. And then you lose George Kittle in the first half. And you came out and won. And you know what the other thing too is? Were they losing at halftime? We have to look that up because that's the big tale is like Kyle Shanahan. Are they able, bang bang Niner game shot to Jacob? Are they able to win when they're losing? Because I remember the score was 16-10. I think that just might have been in the second half, not the first half. But that right there is big time. Like the fact that a Kyle Shanahan, like who the record is crazy. He's 1-38 when he's down by 7 going into the fourth or whatever. But basically the stat is just saying like, hey, whenever Kyle Shanahan is losing by a touchdown into the fourth, he's like 95% of the time going to lose. And it's crazy to see that in the playoffs, man, they were able to answer that back because, 2-3 years ago or whatever, when we went to the Super Bowl, they did that against the Packers. They did that against the Lions. But they had their guys. Like we had Debo, you had Ayuk, you had, Trent, you had George Kittle, you had all of these guys, the defense, you had all of them there. This time there was no one there. Purdy goes back to Philly and beats them. And I think this can confirm that this puts to bed that if Purdy was healthy that first year, the first year where Trey Lance got hurt and then Jimmy G got hurt and then Brock Purdy got hurt and we had James Johnson or I forgot Josh Johnson playing. Josh Johnson got hurt. That game, that just shows that this was not a fluke. Brock Purdy was definitely about that. So, yeah, Brock Purdy confirmed it. He owns Philadelphia. But what a game that was, man. Shout out to everybody, man. Man, we got to link up next week and do a watch party for the next one because it's us versus the Seahawks, and it's back at it. JSN versus Demo. Let's get to it. We got another good game tonight. We'll probably do maybe another reaction one as well, too. We'll be breaking down film this week. Chargers versus the Patriots. Let's get to it. I don't know who I got, bro. This is the hardest one to pick for me. So, all right, y'all.